Well, hello everyone, and welcome to inside of the Kia Sorento, and this is the 2024 Kia Sorento X Pro SX Prestige. It's a pretty long, winding name, I would say, but this is pretty much one of the top-end versions of the facelifted Kia Sorento you can get on the market right now, and we are here driving it over the course of this week, and honestly, I actually really like this facelift. We'll get to the driver impressions in just a second. If you haven't watched my full tour review, definitely go have a watch on that to really get an in-depth tour of every new detail on this Sorento. But before we go hop out on a quick drive, let me just show you what we're rocking with here. So outside we do have unique wheels on this X Pro version. So we actually get unique wheels here. So we have a smaller, around 17-inch wheel along with these BF Goodrich all-terrain rubber wrapped around it. We also get increased ground clearance for this particular one. So normally we actually have orange daytime running lights here, which look pretty cool. A lot of blacked out trim, nice roof rails here, increased towing capacity as well. This one also comes with the 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, which is a pretty nice touch. Over 280 horsepower and almost around 311 pound-feet of torque, which is really impressive, I think, in this system. And lockable all-wheel drive system, selectable all-wheel drive system, drive modes, and the real highlight with the mildly refreshed exterior is this really hugely updated interior, which I think fixes a lot of issues I had with the pre-facelift. And let's head off. So as of course we have our 8-speed dual clutch automatic here. Not my favorite choice, actually. I don't know why they're still continuing to use these wet dual clutches. I thought they were going to start moving away from them, but we still have it here. So again, 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder paired with this dual clutch all-wheel drive, sending power to a all-wheel drive system, primarily front-wheel drive usually, of course, but we have a lock mode here and multiple different drive modes to select through. Hill descent control, a really good camera system as well, really high resolution cameras, and a lot of different modes you can kind of select through to view different angles. You can even do a 360 view where you can kind of just rotate the vehicle around. Very, very helpful in just parking and off-roading situations. It's very easily accessible with this button here, parking sensors as well. So I very much like that as well. Not really any sort of like off-road style information per se, other than that, but I think it's a generally good, well-capable car, good all-wheel drive system. Putting into drive pretty easily. I do like that we have a traditional gear selector. We have a manual mode here, as well as paddle shifters for the dual clutch, but it doesn't let you hold those shifts. It does kind of auto upshift quite a lot, but it is here if you want to kind of roll your own gears. Now, coming off to just a quick start of this driving, I have to say these really thick all-terrain rubber here dramatically improves the ride quality and just general experience, I think, of the Sorento. The last Sorento I drove was a plug-in hybrid, pre-facelift, technically a 2024, but that actual facelift is coming later on. I just didn't like it at all. There really wasn't many aspects of that vehicle I liked. The plug-in hybrid powertrain system really was not my favorite. The ride was a little bit wonky. The suspension and the steering, the whole chassis was a little wonky. They haven't really made that many significant updates to the chassis and all these components for the 2024 model year facelift, but these tires alone just do wonders. A really nice, comfortable, very compliant suspension. It's very quiet in here. Just a little bit of a broken pavement here. I love the turn signal cameras that come on pretty much all Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis products now. It's very smooth, very nice daily driving experience, especially at low speeds, and especially when you treat it and drive it with respect and just care and comfort. It's not a sporting type of chassis or vehicle or any way of the sorts. Now, coming out onto the open road here, I do want to play a little bit with the drive modes as well as these gauge clusters here. We have it in the simple view here. I don't know if I like to think of it as super simple, but it is simple. I'm going to pop into sport here, get a little bit of an acceleration for you guys. Okay, so as you can see there, that dual clutch that we have here, this 8-speed dual clutch, is not a performance dual clutch really whatsoever. I think that it's definitely tuned for fuel economy, and honestly, I will be very honest here, the fuel economy on this vehicle is really good for a non-hybrid 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. On like trips of short 30-mile trips, which I think could really blend in with like a daily commute style trip. I've been seeing 28, 29 miles per gallon, so that's honestly quite impressive driving it in the economy mode. And you have smart mode, normal mode, as well as a sport and a snow mode as well. And sport mode, like we just mentioned, you can see the gauge cluster does a little bit of a dance there. I guess I could attempt to show you guys the paddle shifters, very quick downshifts. If you are trying to kind of drive it a little more on the aggressive end, lots of body roll. Suspension is generally quite compliant. Going around these corners, it just doesn't really like it very well. The steering is a little bit all over the place, and I think Hyundai Kia, they've kind of struggled a little bit with their steering in their just regular vehicles. I experienced this quite a lot in the Telluride that I drove. It was just, I really was not a fan of it. I kind of have that similar experience here. There's really no feel whatsoever. They try it in like sport mode, it gets like a little bit like artificially stiffer. You kind of feel that a little bit right here. And then putting it back into eco mode. We have our cameras for our turn signals as well, which are just an incredibly useful feature, I think. And so I think it does all of that in really good points there. Even just looking at your blind spots or something, really no complaints there whatsoever. Now, one thing I'm not too particularly fond of, and I've experienced this in a few gas-only Hyundai Kia vehicles, is that when you lift off of the gas pedal, it just keeps revving a little bit and just keeps going a little bit. I don't really like that. It doesn't feel very safe and confidence inspiring personally to me. I'm not sure why they do that. I don't know if it's a dual clutch thing, but a little bit funky and weird to me. I've experienced that in some plug-in hybrid vehicles as well. It just doesn't feel very safe to me, but it's just maybe a normal characteristic of this drivetrain. Out here on the highway, now let's demonstrate one of my favorite features of modern Kia and Hyundai vehicles is their highway driving assistant. We have a little bit of some wind noise up here on the highway today, a little bit windy. You hear just a little bit of tire noise, really not that much though, but I do want to focus this right now on this system here because it's just so fantastic. So pretty much as you're all used to activating your cruise control, this one's located on the right hand side of our steering wheel. Just pop it on and it's activated. You really don't need much to set up here, which is nice. You can control your speeds very easily, so you can obviously set your speed to what you want it to be. You can reset it if you need to, or just set your speed again. Have your distance control here, so we have 4 distance control settings with the vehicle in front of us, which is great. And we also have full steering assistant and lane keep assistant, which work together. I believe they can be enabled separately as well, which is a nice touch too. As you can see here, it is fully steering itself. Now, this is not a system where you're where it's a hands-free system. This is still a hands-on system. Though, if you've experienced some of my videos and have driven these vehicles with the highway driving assistant, which you can see it says HDA on right there, it lets you go with your hands off the wheel for a little bit too long, which is nice, I guess. It's very safe. It's always kind of driving you, but it's still not classified as one of those hands-off systems. So keep that in mind while you're driving it, even though it is a great system in that aspect. I just don't want to show you guys, I'm not changing the lane, it is doing it itself there. But there you go, it has lane change assist. Some vehicles it works good, others not so much. I think the best application it is in those hands-free style systems like a Super Cruise or a Blue Cruise, where it literally just changes lanes whenever it wants to. But it's nice to have that assistant function here as a lane change assist. A little bit of a gimmicky feature, I guess, in this particular vehicle, but pretty cool that this vehicle has it. I think this is still under $50,000 as well. Real brake pedal. This could be a little bit better. It's kind of tuned for just the softer brake application, but a little bit too soft, I think, for my taste. The brakes themselves have worked pretty well, especially in terms of like shorter stopping situations or emergency stop situations. It's just that pedal feel needs to be, I think, a little bit improved. Okay guys, we're going on and off some gravel roads here in Upper New York, and I think this is honestly a great application use for this vehicle. It's really not an off-roader, but I think it's great for these areas that don't have full pavement all the time. They might have like a gravel or dirt road here, and it's working fantastically. As you can hear, the suspension's kind of soaking up all the bumps. Those thick all-terrain tires are soaking up all the bumps really well, and I honestly don't feel anything as a driver, which is great in these off-road situations. Even that bump was really well sprung and damped on in terms of the car's handling of it. So really nice stuff there. Say hello to the horses, everyone. But yeah, so I think this is a great road to kind of test this vehicle out on, as I think it's going to be one of the areas that some buyers may be looking towards. If you don't want a Wrangler or go all out for like a hardcore off-roader, one of these kind of new soft rotors, I think people are calling them now, are really doing a great job at just handling these kind of like fire roads or side roads that we may be experiencing in some areas here. And it's a huge segment, of course. We have the Wildernesses from Subaru, we have endless competitors coming in. The Meridian Edition from the Mazda CX-50, Hyundai and Kia are coming out with their like off-road packages as well, which are adding those tire and wheel. We have Toyota TRD and everything, so it's just expanding more and more. Honda is now doing this as well on the Pilot. So competition grows. I think the best are shining. I think this Sorento does a great job at blending some of that little bit of that capability in there, while not being, I think, the best in terms of those areas. It just has fantastic all-around features, technology, and value for the price point. And I also have to say, this Bose premium audio system in here really is quite good. That also surprised me this week. I wasn't really expecting to hear such a strong audio system from a Kia product right now. I just haven't had the best experiences with their audio systems. I did like the Meridian one and the EV9, to be honest, but this one really did surprise me. So let's have a quick test of that right now. Well, of course, we'll dig through the audio settings for you guys. You can hear here when you're reversing, it will lower the audio for you for the parking sensors. You can actually adjust that, which is nice. Great parking cameras. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed that quick audio test with the Kia, and honestly pretty good speakers. Again, it impressed me this week. The speaker quality, again, nothing too crazy. If you're gonna give it like a score, I'd probably give it like a B-, C+ area, but again, still impressed me over this week. And look at that old Ferrari driving by right there. Awesome. But anyways guys, thank you again so much for watching our videos and commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I hope you enjoyed this review of the facelifted Kia Sorento X-Pro SX Prestige. You know, it's honestly a really good all-around mid-size crossover SUV in this segment now, only enhanced by these updates, I think. And Kia's on a roll with kind of really listening to customers and what they want improved. They added the Apple CarPlay, they fixed the screens, they fixed their ergonomic situations. They're really doing some great stuff here, and they're only just going to keep going forwards. And again, if you want something that's really kind of tuned more for driving dynamics and driving pleasure and fun, this isn't the vehicle for you. It's just your comfortable, good fuel economy, good looking, I think, and great value of features and technology for your price vehicle. And for that, I'm really impressed with this 2024 Sorento facelift. Signing off, guys. Stay tuned for more coming in Allcarnews. Cheers.